WebEngage is a marketing cloud for consumer businesses. Thousands of companies trust us to automate their retention marketing using multiple channels of engagement across email, web, and mobile. This video illustrates how setting up deep data personalization in your engagement campaigns is as easy as drag and drop in WebEngage. Targeted, segmented, and personalized communication form the bedrock of smart retention campaigns. If you're still in the era of spray and pray marketing, if you're still doing bulk email blasts, using a generic one-message-fits-all approach, that's a big red flag. For your brand to stay relevant, memorable, and successful, it's imperative to personalize your engagement strategies across channels. At WebEngage, we're committed to bringing you the best-in-class suite, which not only automates your retention strategy using multiple channels of engagement, but also lets you personalize these campaigns in ways you've always imagined. Let's look at how and how much you can personalize your engagement campaigns using WebEngage. Let's begin with a simple example. Say we're designing a journey for users who've abandoned their shopping carts. The goal of this journey is, obviously, to get as many of such on-the-fence users to complete their transactions. So let's do this. The journey begins when someone adds an item to their shopping cart. This is represented by an event trigger in your Journey Designer. So, when any user adds an item to the cart, they're added to this journey, and then we wait for them to complete their purchase, say within the next 45 minutes. If the user ends up purchasing, great! You'd show them some love, send them a transactional order confirmation email, and probably end this journey for them. Now, if the user doesn't complete the purchase and the item remains in their cart, we get into action and send a subtle nudge. How about a push notification if the user has your app? If you design such a push notification campaign without any personalization, here's what it might look like. Your cart awaits. Open the app to continue your purchase. Let's get a little more personal, shall we? With WebEngage, let's go for, "Hey John, your cart awaits. Click here to continue your purchase." Now that's already some level of personalization at play here. We're addressing users with their first name, which we selected from a plethora of variables available to us in this personalization menu. We're putting up a contextual message and linking this notification to the cart checkout screen. Although, this message still feels a little generic, doesn't it? Let's try and do better here. If you wanted to make the push notification richer, maybe today you'd make it more visual. But without further personalization, would it really be effective? Would it really grab users' attention? What if we could dynamically refer to the item users added to their cart before abandoning? Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Let's compose our message again. From the personalization menu, you have the ability to use any data from the user's profile, including data from their recent behavior. So in this case, data from the Add to Cart event they did in this journey. Let's use this. We'll select user's name, then the name of the product in their cart, and then maybe the number of items left in stock. So as an example, the message is going to be, "John, your brand new iPhone 7 awaits. Only 2 items left in stock. Don't miss out." Wait, what's journey.event.this.that? Well, it's a way to refer to one of the preceding events in this journey and use any data point that's been captured along with this event to personalize the final message. The prerequisite here is that while integrating our SDKs in your website or apps, you need to pass events like added to cart and add data points like item name, item price, etc. as attributes to this event. WebEngage understands event attributes with simple data types like string, number, boolean, and date, and even complex ones like arrays and JSON objects, as shown here. So to sum it up, as long as we're tracking the relevant user-related data, their profile attributes, events, and event attributes, all of that data is at your fingertips in the personalization menu when creating campaigns. Point, click, personalize. Bingo! But that's not all. In fact, that's the starting point. So far, you've discovered how to use all the data points that WebEngage has stored, such as user profile data, event data, and their attributes. Wouldn't it be cool to add data to your campaigns beyond what we've stored for your users? Sample this. You're an online travel agent. When a user books a hotel on your app, you'd want to trigger an email to them, say a day before the user is supposed to check in at the hotel. Alongside details of the hotel booked in this email, you'd also like to add some content around things to do in the city that this hotel is located in. Oh, even though WebEngage doesn't have this data, you'd still accomplish this. Say hello to API call-driven personalization. Simply put, you can fetch data from your CRM, data warehouse, LMS, recommendation engine, or any other third-party data store, and use it in campaigns inside a journey. Let's see how that works. Behold the Call an API action block in your Journey Designer. This enables you to make just-in-time calls to third-party REST API endpoints. Let's say we take our previous journey forward, and after the first nudge, give the user 2 days to complete their purchase. And because we paid so much personal attention to our users, let's say they bought the item. Woohoo! Now let's send them a post-purchase email. Without personalization, we might just try to upsell or cross-sell the entire world to them. But with personalization, we can be much more specific, much more personal, and send a feedback collection email and recommend items related to the purchased item. How do we get here? Drag an API action block just before the post-purchase email we're curating. Now, let's think about this for a moment. At this point, we want to fetch the recommended items related to the item which was purchased by this user, which means when you ask your recommendation engine for data, you'll need to tell it which item you are seeking related recommendations for. So when curating this API request, you can pass this context along the way. That's personalization in action in a very different way. This is how you can actually send data from WebEngage to any third-party system from within your workflow. And this is also how you can get data in real time, just in time, from your back-end systems in your journey. Once configured successfully, here's how the data returned from API calls are made available as variables that you could use in your journey campaigns. The response is expected to be any valid JSON. Here's a sample response that we expect from this API call. It contains an array of related items objects. This is probably going to be dynamic, not just in terms of the items, but also the number of items returned. Some users might get 5 recommendations, some 3, some none. How do we actually use this in our email? Well, guess what? You have the power of a templating engine that allows you to write small if-else style conditional blocks within all your campaigns, or even do simple looping over a list or array of items and emit a content structure that'll be used for every item. That's the power of the WebEngage personalization engine you get today. Personalization on the basis of user profile attributes, recent behavior events, lifecycle events, refer to a previous event in the journey, third-party API-driven data, using programming constructs to handle dynamic logic in personalizing the campaign templates. Trust us for more. If you need a detailed walkthrough of how WebEngage works, schedule a demo.